I'm blessed and free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So I told you guys I was going to be bringing you some interviews, and that's what we're going to be doing today. If you haven't, you're tuned in for the first time. On this channel, we talk about crime, jail, prison, and the corruption that goes on in all of those. If you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So, man, you've been to Virginia State Prison. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people watching at home? What's your name? And obviously, you're from Virginia, correct?
Yeah, not originally, but that's where I was at. I'm Chris Lamoureux, and first of all, I appreciate you letting me get on your show, man. You know.
Yeah, no doubt, bro.
Opportunity. But yeah, I did my time in Virginia. I got locked up in Hampton, Virginia. I was 16.
Right. So how did all that go down for you? Like, what was your life like when you started getting arrested? Like, were you just wilding out, or was it kind of like in the wrong place at the wrong time type shit?
I was kind of wilding out on some little shit. I've been in a group home in Crossroads, which is in Williamsburg. I ran from that several times. I kind of was like, I was always bucking the law. You know what I mean? I didn't like being told what to do. That's just being young. I ended up getting into robbing drug dealers. I used to suit up, put the
old Jack up. Boy.
Yeah. I mean, I never robbed anywhere where I was at, so could nobody kind of retaliate,
Yeah.
And, I was squad on them for a week and watch all their moves, watch where they hid their pistol, where they hid the drugs, where they hid the money, their drop off, the pickup spot. And then it just kind of spiraled into there. I ended up getting locked up into Crossroads again. I met somebody in there and they said they could put me up in Hampton if I could help them escape. So I did so. And I was on the run in Hampton and he was like, I guess he didn't know the area around Williamsburg. So he was like, if you can get me back to Hampton, I'll put you up. We'll just go on a run, So that's what we did. And I stayed on the run in Hampton with his people for like 3 months. And then
you never had no close calls when you were robbing the drug dealers?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, most people, when they get their first pistol whip, they're not going to do nothing back. They're not bucking back.
Yeah.
When they see a pistol and they got to go for theirs and you're already looking where their shit is at, you know what I mean? They're not really going to buck back. They're not going to call the police because what are they going to say? He robbed me for my drugs and my money?
Yeah. I've done that before. I've also pistol whipped and been pistol whipped. So I know what you're talking about. You put the fear of God into them.
Right. And I'm already small. I'm only 5 foot tall. You know what I mean? So. But
you got to really pistol whip them.
Yeah, but it's a stun thing. Like, I can't believe this little motherfucker just pistol whipped me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a stun thing too.
Yeah.
But I had a co-defendant, the one I escaped with, told me that my girlfriend had got raped. The girlfriend I was dating with at the time on the run. He knew where the dudes were. He knew where they lived at. We got high, tripped on some acid, drank, ended up going to the house and there was no dudes there. It was all a lie. And
he just they be doing that shit, bro. They be saying that shit to get you to send you on a mission. I hate this shit.
Yeah. And he just wanted me for backbone, you know what I mean? Just to steal the car. And we ended up going into the house, cutting the power lines, all that. Because back in the early 90s, the alarm systems were set up with the power line. So you cut the phone line and it kills everything.
Yeah, done.
The alarm. So we went in there and he went to robbing the people, but I'm looking for these kids that's supposed to be in there. I don't see no pictures on the wall. I don't see no kids and nothing. And they're supposed to be like our age. And I went into the room and the woman and the man, it was a couple, old couple. They were tying them up. And I was like, man, what's up? This ain't what I came in here for, And he's like, well, we're already in here now, which kind of, in the high state and in the perception of things, damn, I'm screwed right now anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're all in at that point.
Right. So they went and looted the people. And I actually untied the woman, because she was old. She had a wrap around her arm. You know, she just came from the hospital. I went and got her medication, untied her hands. I said, look, I know y'all gonna call the cops. Do what you got to do once we leave. You know what I mean? So, you know, then we ended up leaving. And we were supposed to go north, and we ended up somehow going south of Florida. And that's how we got busted all the way down to Florida in Broward County.
Okay. So not too far from where I'm at.
No, actually not, no.
So did you get locked up then in Florida?
Yeah, we went to Broward County Detention Home.
Okay.
Broward County, Dade County, one of those. It was a detention home. It was gang rampant all in the detention home.
Yeah, I bet. That's a big gang part of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. I ended up not knowing this then, but there was a statute that I was trying to file when I was in there, where they have to let both of your parents know that you've been caught or incarcerated, because we were juveniles, and I didn't know that then, and they didn't even call my mom or nothing. They got to interviewing us and everything and trying to get us to make statements, and told me that they had called my mom and never did. My mom didn't know until I was actually in the detention center, like in the holding cells and the jail and all that. She didn't know nothing about that. So it was like kind of corrupted from the get-go. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're saying your mom, you were in like what, a group home. So is it because you kept like getting in trouble that you went there, or did she say, hey, like I can't take care of you, got to go here?
Well, no, the group home was by court.
Okay. All right.
Court, you know?
All right.
But the crime, when the time that I got, she came into court and told the court, she was like, I can't do nothing with him. I can't control him. Just do something with him. And, you know, they started handing down them sentences, and it was brutal.
So you got picked up in Florida. Did they transfer you back to Virginia?
Yeah, they sent 10 U.S. Marshals.
They had four.
They had 4 Hampton police already down there on vacation. They pulled them off of vacation. Sent the 10 U.S. Marshals. They flew us back up. They refused to take our handcuffs and shackles because they knew we're flight risks. 2 of us had martial arts experience, and I'm a heavy duty wrestler, so that's probably why they sent, you know, so many individuals, you know. And they even argued with the flight attendants. The flight attendants said they have to take our shackles off, and they wouldn't do it. They said, we can't take anything off of them. So bam, now it's a safety issue, you know.
So then you go to court in Virginia. How long did you end up? What was it? A home invasion? Is that what you ended up getting charged with?
No, they got me with 5 counts, use of a firearm and commission of a felony, break and enter in the nighttime with the intent to commit larceny, rape, or murder. Grand larceny, auto theft, 2 counts of abduction, and 2 counts of armed robbery.
How'd they hit you with attempted rape for that?
Well, the way they do it in nighttime burglary, because there's an intent. So there's only 3 intentions that you have when you go into a dwelling, especially when it's dealing with the opposite sex, because it was a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So you have the intention to steal, the intention to rape, or the intention to kill.
So they automatically like put you in those 3 categories?
Yeah, that's what it
Fuck
is.
Virginia. Fuck Virginia, bro.
It's bad, bro. It's bad over there, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There wasn't even a gun. And the same woman that I helped came to court. She picked us out of a photo lineup, but it wasn't none of us. She picked the tallest one was 5'8". She picked all 6 foot people, 300 plus pounds. She said I was 6'2", 320 pounds, and I was wearing a black hoodie. Like,
that's crazy. So did she say you had a gun?
Yeah, she said I had a long barrel black gun.
Man, I bet you wish you wouldn't have got her no medications, huh?
Right.
That's crazy, bro.
Right.
Hey, soft heart right there, bro. Come back to get you in the end. But all right, so how much time did you get for all that shit?
They ended up giving me 68 years with 30 suspended. So I ended up
Holy
having 38
shit.
years. Huh?
Holy shit is what I
Yeah.
said.
And then they gave me the same judge that Allen Iverson had got, because this wasn't too long after Allen Iverson had his case.
Damn,
His
bro.
assault by mob. So they gave me the same judge who was a straight prick. And he made a statement in a paper before our case, which was, it's kind of, there's a word for it, conflict of interest. He made a statement in the paper when Allen Iverson got his time, and the judges panel and the media all came down on Judge Overton, that was his name, and said that he was being soft on Allen Iverson. So he said, okay, well, the next big case that comes in front of me, I'm gonna light him up. And we were the next big case that came out in front of him, like months later.
When you got that time, that was your first time entering into adult prison, right?
Yeah.
All right, man. So tell the people at home, what's it like for a white boy, 5 foot, going into a Virginia State prison?
At 16.
Yeah, at 16. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, it's
with
a
30 years, check. With 30 years too.
Right. It's a reality check, like all the little bullshit I was doing on the street, the little fights and all that little shit. It became a reality check when you're by yourself, when you got nobody.
Yep.
When you're in with some grown ass men, you know what I mean? You're looking at football player sized people, you know what I mean? They put me in the worst jail you could get, Richmond City Jail. The first 3 days there was nothing but fights on the juvenile tier, all fights. My co-defendant got beat up the first day because he looked at somebody wrong. Yeah, it was rough, man. Just going through the jail, I spent 11 months in jail, which is, you don't really hear about that. You know what I mean? Like people spend a couple weeks and then they go to receiving and then they spend a couple weeks and then they go to prison. I spent 11 months in the jail. I spent 11 months in Southampton receiving, which they call Gladiator School, which is all young bucks. There were riots there all the time in the kitchen, people getting hit with hot coffee, you can see the skin peel off people. Like a lot of that shit, man, is like, you don't, the shit you see in movies, you know what I mean? It isn't stuff you would see in reality, you know what I mean?
So was there gangs running the Gladiator School, or like how did that go? Was it divided up?
It was young. It was just a bunch of young cats. In Virginia, the gangs kind of deal with each other, but in Virginia, you hang with where you're from. So Newport News hangs with Tidewater, which is Norfolk and Suffolk and all that. So it goes by kind of your neighborhoods. Now the gangs still run about in there and stuff, but you ain't really start seeing like really heavy gang activity till you get to prison.
Were you banging when you were in prison?
No, I mean, I hooked up with a couple guys. I was kind of going through an initiation at the time through the Gangster Disciples. But then when I seen how they were doing it, it wasn't nothing that you hear about. You know what I'm saying? It was go get this from the store from me, do these push-ups. Like their little initiation shit was more of slave trade more than it was, you initiate into a brotherhood type thing,
Yeah, they're using you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I was getting older, I started understanding. So my great grandfather was a partner of Al Capone. My grandfather was a capo in Massachusetts. As I'm starting to realize this stuff, I'm getting my family history and stuff. I'm thinking, what the fuck is up with these gangs? You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would I get in a gang when I could go somewhere and spill some names and be in the mob? You know what I mean? Like the gang shit was little time to me. You know what I mean? But I fucked with a lot of the dude. I actually was cool more with Bloods than I was anything. Bloods and Latin Kings.
Yeah, I heard the Bloods are deep up in Virginia.
They are, especially like Charlottesville area, places like that.
So how long was it when you were in prison that you ran into like your first like big problem, or did you?
First day.
Damn, bro.
The first day.
They bust that cherry quick.
Yes. So So I got beat out of 2 packs of cigarettes for a joint that I never got, but I gave the cigarettes up first. So that was a mistake. You know what I mean? Pulled up on me on the yard like a straight bitch. Pulled up on me like a bitch. You know, put the hand up on the fence, calling me shorty. You know, all that.
Damn.
And my heart was running 100 miles an hour, man.
So what was he, a booty bandit?
Yes, he was. He was a very, very notorious booty bandit.
All right.
He was
So,
dark skin, blues brother glasses. Like you couldn't see his eyes, nothing.
oh man, he was undercover right there, bro.
Yeah. So he pulled up on me and I knew what was happening, you know, just from watching movies, you know. And I was scared to death, man, because you know, I don't know nobody. I don't know who messes with anybody. You know, as you learn over time, you learn to watch these things, you know. But
Yeah.
I said, look, man, I said, I'm not into that shit. If you come at me again, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And I
For real.
kind of really
Snap you
didn't
up.
mean it. Yeah, I didn't really mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just trying to play crazy hard at the time. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
hopefully it would work. And it did. He was like, all right, man, that's cool. He said, I'll see you later. And I'm a Star Wars fan. I know what happened with Han Solo said that to Jabba Hutt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna get a knife in my back or something. He never fucked with me again. He never fucked with me. It wasn't that he was scared. It was just he respected the fact that at least I stood up for myself. And that's what people don't understand in prison. Like you can wear an ass whooping all day long, but if you fight back, you get more respect that way.
Yeah. A lot of people don't have the heart to fight back though. So
They don't, man. They
you
don't.
know, they get leaned up on the fence and they're like, oh, okay, I'll walk over here
Especially
with you.
white boys, especially white dudes, they make all of the white dudes look bad in the system
Yeah,
when
that
they
was
come
going
to
to be my next question. So in Florida, we kind of have that same shit going on with, you know, a lot of white boys are soft. And so when you're in Virginia, it's the same shit up there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got a couple like you got a couple hard white dudes, man, that rode on their own, played a lot of sports and shit like that. Then you had a couple bikers. There was an enforcer for the outlaws in there. This was at Brunswick. Um, there was a pagan in there, and there was a Hell's Angel, but he was on the other side of the yard. He couldn't put the pagan with the Hell's Angel because all the shit going on in
Yeah,
Richmond in the
politics.
70s. Yeah. So but you know, they didn't fuck with the biker dudes. You know what I mean? They didn't fuck with the older head white dudes that had been in these major places, and you know, and then some of the older head white dudes that were actually hard were actually still punks. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? They were
crazy.
from back then. You know?
Yeah. So when the dude pulled up on you on the fence and you kind of killed that shit, is that a common thing in Virginia? Like, are they running wild up there?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends on where you go. If you want to spread, like Brunswick was an open spread, which means you got wreck all day long. You got out at 8 o'clock in the morning. You didn't have to go back into your cell till 8 or 9 at night. So you could be on the yard all day long, go to school. So it was almost like a college campus. That's what it gave me the feel of, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, the more open it was, the more shit that was going on, you know.
Yeah, because
I
people
had a
are
buddy of
sliding
mine.
across the compound and shit.
Yeah, yeah. I had a buddy of mine. I'm not gonna name no names on nobody, but he was a Latin king, and he was fucking with this punk. I was in the hole on a fighting charge, and I came back out and heard that he was fucking with the punk. Now I wasn't a Latin king, so I don't have no say so other than me and him cool. And I pulled up on him and talked to him about it, and I was like, look, you know, shit ain't right because the gangs ain't supposed to fuck with the punks, but that's mostly what all they fuck with now. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a legitimate policy now for him. It's okay, you know. And he got to beefing with a guy on the yard that day. It was about 6 of us kicking it. We all went off on our separate ways. He got to beefing with a guy. He used to keep a box cutter under his tongue. He was a Puerto Rican dude. He used to keep a box cutter under his tongue. And he spit that shit out real quick in his hands. He'd cut you. So the dude knew he couldn't beat the Latin King dude. So once everybody had split off, there was like a thud up on the hill. It was like way down. We were like on the volleyball courts, and this happened like up top of the hill. It was like a thud. And somebody said, "Oh shit, he just got hit." So we all went up to the hill to see what was going on, and the Latin King dude was laying on his stomach going through convulsions. The dude was already being carted off the yard. He had ended up hitting the Latin King in the back of the head with a baseball bat over a pump.
He didn't even use the box cutter. He just picked up the bat.
No, he didn't even use it. And the dude sat there, and from everything that I was told, he lined him up for like 2 or 3 swings and then swung, and nobody had said nothing to him.
So the bats in Virginia aren't on a wire that's screwed into the ground?
No. Back then, at majors, you can't even get that stuff, like Sussex and Wallens Ridge and places like that. You can't even get softball equipment or nothing like that. But when you get on like the lesser spreads, no, you just go check the stuff out. There's a box that's outside, and you just go get the equipment and go onto the softball field and start playing softball.
Yeah, that's how it used to be in Florida, but people were getting their head bashed in. So they put that shit on a metal wire and screwed it at home plate. So that's why I was asking. I'm sure it's like that now, though, in Virginia, right?
Well, some of them places, a lot of them places have been shut down due to the private prisons.
Oh,
that's big industry now.
Yeah, that money-making shit got going on.
Right.
So when the dude got hit with the bat, yeah, it's all about money, bro. It's always all about money. When the dude got hit with the bat, did you ever hear what happened to him, or?
Yeah, he had 58 years. He was from Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey. He was on a transfer to Texas. So they dropped him off in Virginia. Like they weren't supposed to drop him off. So when this whole incident happened, his family filed a lawsuit against him.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be there. He had 58 years in the state time, and he had 14 months in the feds to do after state time. He got all his state time dropped. He was in a coma after that for like 2 months. When he came out the coma, he couldn't remember nobody, and they have a thing at the spread that I was at. They had a group called NOYG, which was Nation of Young Gangsters, which is all the gangs that would come together, and they have their own store box, you know what I mean? And you didn't borrow nothing from nobody in the yard. If you needed something, you go to the NOYG box and you just pay it back on the first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kept policy going, but when the Bloods weren't allowed to be in it, Vice Lords, so it was all job kind of blue, black, and yellow, you know what I mean? He forgot everybody he knew. He had pictures of everybody. He couldn't remember nobody. He dropped all his state time. He ended up going to the feds, and he did his 14 months in the feds, and it was messed up because he was a high level ranking member in the Latin Kings. He had all his regalia. And when he gets to the feds, he gets pulled up on by a Latin King and checked. He don't have no knowledge anymore. He's forgot everything. Like it fucked his head up, you know what I mean? So they didn't beef with him about it. They understood, and they retrained him, got him all his knowledge and shit. And all the people like he was cool with where he was at with us, like the Gangster Disciples and the folks and all that, up in the feds where he was at, that's who the Latin Kings beef with, was the Gangster Disciples and all that. So, he went from, friendly shit to straight warfare as soon as he gets in there, you know what I mean?
During your time, how many years were you in when the guy got hit with the bat?
Oh man, I was in probably about 3 years.
Well,
yeah.
22 years, man. You obviously probably got a lot of stories. So I'd like to bring you back on the channel and do a part 2, and then also talk about, how you've been when you got out of prison after doing 22 years. Because there's a lot of people getting out that, are going fresh to the street, and, it's a struggle, man. So people need to hear about that. You down to come on again for part 2?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the channel, man. And we'll be in contact, set up part 2. Hey, if you guys haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And with that, it's DOC TV, and we're out.